Hey Dalkies, I'm Ray, and welcome back to my channel. So this is the part 2 of the ultimate NMAT game plan. So no yapping session from me, it's getting serious. Let's get right into it. So last tutorial from the part 1, we've talked about the assessment phase. And I hope you did your homework already, huh? I hope you were able to assess yourself, your stats. You were able to lock in that winner mindset. I hope you're able to read the BOI and was able to scale who your competitors are. Okay? So right now, we're on to the planning phase of the game plan. With that, let's start. So for this step of the phase, I call Unequip Comfort Mode because we're entering rank play. Okay? So for the whole game plan, I just utilized video game lingos to keep it more fun and so that it's easier to follow. It may not be as accurate or as precise as I had planned, but I hope you get the gist, okay? So for this phase, again, it's time to unequip your comfort mode because you're officially entering rank play. If you're aiming high, 99 plus PR, med school dreams, you need to be ready to make sacrifices. That doesn't mean saying goodbye to everything you love, but it does mean making intentional choices that put your goal first. So shift your focus hard toward the review. I want you to do whatever it is that comes to your mind when I say focus on the review. Whatever it is that you feel deep within your core or that your ancestors are telling you that you need to do. I'll give you an example how. I'll go first. In my case, I resigned from my job. Yep, I made that choice because I knew I couldn't give both work and NMAT prep my 100%. I wanted that 99 plus and I wasn't planning on doing the boss fight unequipped. I wanted to be my best. So that was my move. Yours might look different. Maybe fewer side gigs, fewer hangouts, fewer doom scrolling. But the point is, free up your time and protect your energy. Ask yourself, where does most of my time go? Is it down the content rabbit holes? Maybe errands? Online shopping? Malapit na yung sale, 477. Or even now, yeah, it's payday sale. So whatever it is, however you can, focus on the review. Okay, so here are some ideas aside from mine. Reduce your work hours if possible. Or maybe you can batch up your tasks so that you're more efficient. If you're at home and you're doing errands, maybe you can tell your parents, your siblings to be maybe like immune for now from the chores so that you could focus more on your review. Another one is to set your review schedule. Set clear review time blocks in your schedule and protect them like non-negotiable meetings. Here is where the discipline component comes in. Okay, so train yourself for that. You're gonna need that. And then say no to things that can wait. If you can, cut back on social events for a while. Trust me, your friends will understand, okay? It's not forever. It's just for a short period when you're prepping for the NMAT. You have to learn talaga to say no because these are just side quests. Right now, the exam is your main quest. So keep that in mind. Another one I could advise you, aside from focusing on the review, is to minimize the distraction. The bigger monster to beat is your temptation. The distractions, the comfort shows, the doom scrolls, we all have them. Again, minimize distractions however you can. Personally, I deleted my social media apps, okay? Not just logged out, deleted. TikTok, gone. Instagram, gone. Facebook, okay, I kept Facebook because that is where review centers usually receive updates, I think Facebook and Messenger. Okay, so another thing, I even restricted my Netflix and Prime Video subscriptions just so I couldn't binge watch my K-dramas. Yep, it hurt. But removing those distractions helped me stay focused and intentional with my time. Okay, so here are other hacks you can try. You could move your phone physically away from your study space, out of sight, out of mind. What I did is that I keep my phone in my older brother's room, keep it there. Okay, and then I tell him to not let me get my phone back until I'm done with my review. Aside from that, if you live with others, you tell them your review hours so they know not to disturb you. What is very helpful for me is that I put up a do not disturb sign on my door. As I've said, I have an older brother, right? And if you have siblings, they have this innate calling to disturb you for no fudging reason. Okay? So it helps to write a do not disturb sign. And then another security measure, just lock your door. We could also create a dedicated study area if you can, even if it's just a corner, okay? So when you sit there, your brain knows it's grind time. So these sacrifices, they do not have to be extreme. But this part of the game, it's not meant to be cozy. It's ranked. You're not just playing, you're playing to win. You're not just taking the NMAT, you're getting that 99 plus PR. So unequip comfort mode and equip your commitment and your discipline. So that's that. Moving on, choose your fighter. We're on to one of my favorite parts of this strategy, and what I really meant to say was customize your fighter. But it lacks the flair I wanted, so I just stuck with Mortal Kombat's choose your fighter. Or like Street Fighter, right? So you are the player here. Play the game in the way that's going to get you the win. Before you start doing anything else, stop and take a moment to really get to know yourself. I'm serious. This isn't just some filler tip for this tutorial. Self-awareness is your secret weapon in this entire process. Think of it this way. In any game, you don't just pick a random character. You choose the one that fits your playstyle. Same goes for the NMAT. You need to know how you function best so you can customize your prep accordingly. Ask yourself, who am I as a student? Am I the type that is hardcore, achiever? Or are you the type that is chill, laid back, relax? Another one, what is or are my learning styles? Are you a visual learner who needs color-coded notes and diagrams? Are you tactile or kinesthetic? Do you need to write things out over and over to make it stick? Or maybe you're auditory, someone who remembers better by listening or teaching. Whatever it is, lean into it. This is not the time for experimentation. This is the time for application. Utilize your tried and tested study methods. Knowing how you naturally absorb information will save you so much time and energy. Last, when do I focus best? Are you an early bird who's sharp in the morning? Or a night owl who only gets in the zone at 11 p.m.? Or are you someone who needs coffee and silence? Maybe you actually concentrate better with a bit of background noise. Okay, so for your reference, I'll tell you my version of these. Okay, my answers. You can have a look-see, but don't just copy-paste, okay? I had a teacher once that was so frustrated because when we copy notes, it's literally copy-paste. And she said, writing things down would be obsolete because you were just absent-mindedly copying everything. It's better to copy, edit, and then paste. You edit it according to your own understanding before you apply it. That's what it means. So for me, while as a student, I'm actually one of the hardcore achiever ones. What is or are my learning styles? So I'm actually both visual and tactile or kinesthetic. I learn better if I watch someone do the lecture, write the diagrams, and it's better if I get to write them down myself too. I actually experimented with it a while. I wanted to utilize all of the learning styles kasi So I experimented with the auditory one. I tried to record myself explaining the lecture and then listen to it over and over. That didn't work out for me, okay? So I had to cancel that out. I also tried to be one of those people who are very crafty and artsy, and they use all of these highlighters and calligraphy pens to write their notes. I tried that, but it didn't work out for me. My retention was the same. When I used to be insecure about this because I thought that I wasn't maximizing my full potential. But then I came across a study that said it's actually better for some people to just use black pen and paper. You don't need all the colored highlighters. So for me, I just stuck with pencil and paper. And then if I wanted to add more color, I just use black, red, and blue pens. So when do I focus best? This is the one that was very hard for me throughout my entire NMAT prep because I used to be an academic weapon. I was like a robot. Okay, I studied after dinner until I sleep. That was like around from 6 to 8. And then by 8 p.m., like clockwork, I'm asleep. I wake up 4 a.m. before my alarm, and then I study again up until 6 before I prepare for school. And that was every single day of my life. That was my rhythm. When I prepared for the NMAT, I wanted to utilize that again. My work definitely ruined my body clock because there's like night shift and all that stuff. So I couldn't get back to my normal rhythm. So I wasted around a week or two trying to get it back, but to no avail. So that's why I encourage you to just use your tried and tested methods so as not to waste that much time. So right now, I focus best. This is very weird. I tell you, I focus best from after dinner. Okay, so that's around 7 to 2 a.m. I sleep from 2 to 8. And then by 8 to 12, I'm awake again. So I study again. And then after lunch, from around 2 to 5, that's my nap time. Like zone out. Like there's some kind of invisible energy pulling me down. Like literally, guys, I cannot fight it. I'm really sleepy in the afternoon. And then it goes back to like after dinner up until 2 a.m. That's when I'm most awake. So I just utilize those times, however weird that may be, because that's what worked. So that was my experience. So for you, once you figure this out, start building your routine around your natural rhythm and not against it. Use what works for you and not just what looks productive on Instagram. Okay? I see you. So don't force yourself into someone else's study style. But if you want to benchmark others and see if it works for you, if you have the time to experiment, then go. I'm not 100% against it. I'm just telling you that if you don't have the time, just use your tried and tested methods. But if you have the time to benchmark, copy, edit, paste, okay? Copy, edit, paste. So to summarize, customize, strategize, maximize your strengths, and don't waste time fighting against your nature. Moving on to the last one. Here comes the heavy hitter. Dito, bagsakan na ng actual tips and tricks. Everything before this, super necessary. But this right here, this is the game changer. This is what makes or breaks your 99 plus PR. Let's get straight into it. So brace yourselves. Think of your NMAT prep like gearing up for battle. If you're entering ranked play, you can't go in with default gear. You need to invest. Time, effort, and yes, sometimes even a bit of cash. Treat your prep like an investment because believe me, it will pay off in the long run. First off, get your hands on the best review materials. Don't just rely on one source. Mix it up. Use books, online resources, cheat sheets, YouTube videos. Hello. Whatever helps you understand and master the content. So I could recommend the Filipino website. They have lots of mock exams as well as kind of like a detailed intro on each subtest. We also have some practice sets. It's available in the SEM website. And then for YouTube videos, please support my channel. Okay, Review with Ree. I have tons of videos uploaded and then more coming. And I plan to put out like cheat sheets of topics, or maybe like a full-blown lecture if I feel like it, or if you request it. There's also tons available online. There's one in the subreddit or NMAT. Okay, they have a G drive of that. You can just search NMAT practice test, mock test, or sub tests online in Google. Stuff will come up. If you have the money, you could also invest in those MSA NMAT reviewers. Whatever it is that helps you understand and master the content, okay? Quality over quantity, but a mix of both never hurts. So moving on. What's another way to upgrade your inventory? If you can, okay, if money isn't a problem, enroll in a review center. I know, it's an added expense, but for some people, having structure, scheduled classes, and mock tests really help with focus and accountability. If it's within reach, go for it. If not, there are still plenty of free and affordable resources online. Okay, just be extra diligent in curating them. I'm actually thinking, you guys, of making a G drive, compiling all of the review materials I scoured from the internet for my prep. So if you want it, just drop a yes please in the comments and I'll release it, okay? So last, and that is your review preparations. What I mean by this is that you should take the test only if you are ready. Not just for the experience, not just to see how it feels. You're not a beta tester. You're a contender. This is ranked play, remember? Every time you take the NMAT, you're getting placed on that percentile ranking. Remember the ladder thingy we talked about sa part 1? What did I say? Wala kang ang tinatapakan tao, nagiging stepping stone ka tuloy. That's the reality. Every score you make is part of your track record. And guess what? Med schools will see every single attempt. They are sent by the SEM, the master list of all of those PR scores. And at the same time, when you apply for schools, there's a section there in the application form where they ask how many times you took the NMAT before and what your PR scores are. Now, this could be a two-edged sword. Some admissions committee may see this as a student who's unrelentingly trying to do better, and thus they could be taught. They have persistence, they have potential. Or they could see it as someone who's going to have a hard time in med school. So, no pressure. No pressure, pero na-feel mo na yung pressure. Feel the pressure, and then use that pressure to do things better. Think strategy, not stress. I encourage you to climb the PR ladder when you're ready to win. Delay if you must, and prepare like it's a boss fight. Because when you do finally take the test, you want to be the one climbing over others, not the one being climbed on. Game is game, Dockies, remember? Game is game. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my little secret. I'm going to reveal how I upgraded my inventory. Okay, step by step, exactly as I did. Let's start from the top. I enrolled in not just one, but 2 review centers. Yes, 2 review centers. As I kept on saying, I'm being very real here. Bakit ako naka 99 plus? Aside from all of the preps and strategies I've been doing, I had 2 review centers. So after the boards, I geared up for the NMAT. I enrolled in 1 review center. This is the first review center that I've been to. They have a very comprehensive schedule and curriculum. So before that, I wanted to be prepared. So the review materials that I did outside of the review center are literally just Filipino. I also had the SEM practice sets as well as YouTube videos like crash courses, okay? So those are the ones I actually utilized. I had a compilation, as I've said, of a lot of reviewers, but I never took a peek at them, okay? I had a lot of review materials kasi from my review centers na already, and it was very overwhelming. So to put a stop or to minimize the overwhelming feeling, I just stuck with these three. Now, after preparation, the actual review started. I reviewed for 3 months under the first review center that I was in. They had a lot of mock exams, a lot of lectures. Okay, so that's when I started to get the hang of it. Afterwards, truth be told, I didn't finish nor start any of the videos they had on physics and chem because it was very overwhelming for me. The review ended and I wasn't able to learn anything about chem and physics. So that's what happened. And before I started, actually, I already told myself that I was going to enroll in 2 review centers. And I was going to take twice as much prep time as most of my competition. Because, yeah, that was really the mindset I had, the one in the assessment. And knowing myself as someone who's not really a prodigy nor a genius, just someone who works hard a lot, who does the effort, I knew I wouldn't be able to live up to them. I would pale in comparison to my competition. After my first review center, I didn't take the NMAT then and there, okay? I waited for the next cycle, and then that's when I enrolled in my second review center. Actually, it was my mom's idea to do it because for me, I felt a bit confident now already that I could do a self-review after my first one because they were very detailed and I think they've encompassed all of the topics, possible topics that might come up in a map. But it was my mom who told me that it is better if I had the guidance so that I wouldn't stray far. She gave me that advice knowing full and well about my anxiety of possibly getting a one-digit PR. So she told me that, you know what, just enroll in another review center, okay? It's better to brush up on your test-taking skills and maybe they have other things to teach you that weren't taught in your previous review center. So that's what I did. Okay, now you know. And then I reviewed for another 3 months before I took the NMAT last May 2025 and got myself a 99 plus PR. So I'm being very transparent here. Review materials, I stuck with the basics. I did not overwhelm myself. Review centers, I had 2. And I had all of their lectures and their mock tests. Review preparation, it took me 6 months total. So again, that's my move. Yours could look different. But again, you could always copy, edit, paste. Copy, edit, paste. So duckies, this is your time to prepare with intention. Gear up with purpose and go in ready to win. Okay? If I did this, most likely a lot of others did too. So what would you do to get ahead? Build smart, upgrade what matters, polish your strategy, and face the NMAT like the final boss that it is. Okay, so this is our final slide for the planning phase. So yes, you need to assess, you need to plan before you get to take action. There's no shortcuts to success. And that is how I'll finish off this series with how you do the execution, which we will be talking about in the final tutorial in part 3. So I hope you learned a lot from all of my sharings in this tutorial. Expect more for the final part. So this has been Review with Ree. Bye!